Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Brooke Moore. We are following developing details on today's terror attacks in Brussels, and we continue that coverage with the impact locally. First, here's what we know so far. Belgium's prime minister says, quote, "What we feared has happened." After 3 terror attacks happened in Brussels this morning, ISIS is claiming responsibility for those deadly blasts. At least 20 people died in an attack on a subway station there. 11 people were killed in 2 explosions at the Brussels airport. In all, at least 31 people were killed and more than 130 were injured in those 3 blasts. We asked Wright-Patterson Air Force Base if the terror attacks in Brussels changed anything here at home. Their spokesman tells us the base's force protection condition remains at Bravo. We're also asking Dayton International Airport officials about their response to the attacks. 2 News reporter Maytal Levy live at the airport with how terror in Brussels is impacting them.
Good afternoon, Brooke. I've been here for the past 3 hours, and travelers are going about their day normally. Flights are not being impacted here at the Dayton airport, and security measures are not being beefed up. Some passengers here that are traveling today tell me they're not too concerned with the attacks because they're overseas, and a lot of the flights leaving from Dayton are domestic flights. Thousands of passengers are expected to come through the airport today. Officials tell me the attacks are not going to impact security measures, and they will stay vigilant as they do every day. The last major attack was in Paris, France in November. Airports across the globe went into high alert. Dayton airport officials say that also did not impact travel here in Dayton. I spoke to passengers who tell me they're not scared to fly because if they were, it would mean the terrorists have won.
Well, I think they ought to look at what the Israeli security system does in their airports. It's a lot more personal interaction. I've heard, what they do, and it's a lot different than this. It's not big, x-rays and inspections. It's a lot more interview. They've been very successful with it, and I think it's something we ought to consider.
And the airport officials here suggest checking your flight in case something does change and these flights do become impacted by the terror attacks in Belgium. You can do so with your airline or online at WDTN.com. Live, Maytal Levy, 2 News Today, working for you.
President Obama condemned the attacks earlier this morning. He says the American people stand in solidarity with the people of Brussels.
And this is yet another reminder that the world must unite. We must be together, regardless of nationality or race or faith, in fighting against the scourge of terrorism.
We will be working this story from all angles today. For updates anytime, head to WDTN.com.